On your hometown radio station, WPKY, The Tiger. U-Ride in Princeton is proud to sponsor the Sideline Report each Thursday here on your hometown radio station, WPKY, The Tiger. Go on out to U-Ride on Marion Road. Ask for Dave's Deal of the Week. It's usually the Spotlight Vehicle of the Week, and it's waiting for you at U-Ride. Dave Harden is the sales manager at U-Ride. Go on out and ask to test drive Dave's Deal of the Week. It's out at U-Ride on Marion Road in Princeton. Give them a call, 270-365-3018, U-Ride of Princeton. All righty, here we go at 9:04. Welcome to Thursday in the Sideline Report with Todd Griffin, sports editor of the Times Leader. Good morning.
Good morning. We got started a little early today.
We did. It's good. And you got your big old tea.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready to go for the whole show. This will get me through an hour.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you introduce our guests this morning on the Sideline Report.
We're going to talk this morning with Ken Parker, and Luke Parker has joined us as well. And we want to talk about the Jake Hodge Foundation and the wiffle ball tournament you guys have each year to raise money. I mean, that thing has just gone gangbusters since you started that. And I can't say enough good things about that and how impressed I am with how that all came together.
And it's wiffle ball.
Yeah, wiffle ball.
That's even cool.
I hope I said wiffle ball.
You did. Yeah, but it's just great.
So, just tell us how all that came together and just how Little Bush Stadium came about.
Well, yeah, Todd, that's a good question. We purchased our property in 2010, and then in 2008, Shannon and Dennis lost their son Jake, and so we had a few extra acres, and we thought, how can we do something to help raise money for their scholarship fund? They started a scholarship fund called the Jake Hodge Foundation. They gave scholarships to Caldwell, Lyon, Crittenden, Livingston, and Trigg counties. And so my wife and I decided we were going to build a wiffle ball field. We got the idea from a guy in Vermont named Pat O'Connor. And Pat built Little Fenway Park, and he was raising just insane amounts of money with that event. And so I talked to him, and we started thinking about what field should we build, first of all, and then how are we going to run the tournament. So the first thing was what field to build. And we thought about Little Fenway, which had already been done, but a 12-foot high wall just wasn't going to suit my wife, and it was going to affect our view. And so we thought about Little Wrigley, and then I started getting blowback from Cardinals fans, and so we decided on Little Bush Stadium. And so we put Big Mac Land out there, Joe McInerney, and he's a supporter of that. And we built the little arch for the Cardinals, and we've added things as the time has gone on. And in 2012, we started construction, and we held our first tournament in 2013.
Wow. Well, it looks phenomenal. Anybody that's been out that way, it looks incredible. And, of course, I'm partial to the Cardinals myself, so I really love the fact that it says Little Bush Stadium, and there's so many things like Big Bush Stadium, everything, the names on the wall, and the championship banners listed out there, and now I notice you've got a video board out there.
Jumbotron.
Yeah, that's a huge addition this year. We have a Jumbotron. It's almost like a high-definition television. It's 15 foot high. It's 15 feet by 15 feet. It is amazing. And anything that plays on a computer, you can play that on the Jumbotron.
Wow.
So you tap into it and it's just up there. That's awesome.
And we've got programs on a computer that has home run graphics and all kinds of neat things like that. And the guys at Sportable Scoreboards in Murray, I don't know if you've ever been there.
Oh, yeah.
But that warehouse is like a kid's dream, man. You can go in there. They fabricate their own scoreboards there.
Yeah.
I never knew it existed until about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was lucky enough one time to actually go back and watch them put one together and put the numbers and everything on there. And
at that place?
Yeah, so it's fantastic. If you're kind of a sports geek and are into those kind of things, the behind-the-scenes stuff, it was really cool.
If I ever win the lottery, I'm just going to go there and hang out and work there just for free. But they really do a great job. And Ron Watson is the guy's name that runs it. And he and Dennis Hodge knew each other very well, and so he called me up one day and said, "Hey, I've got a video board I can bring out."
Wow.
And I said, "Bring it. We're all about it." And so now people think I'm really crazy when they see this gigantic big screen in my backyard, and that's okay.
Well, I posted a picture on Twitter last night that you had sent me with the video board, and of course, one of the first comments I saw was somebody saying, "I can't believe that's a wiffle ball field."
Yeah, yeah. Well, when we started doing this, the one thing the guy in Vermont told me, he said, wiffle ball field is going to be fun for everybody, but you have to almost suspend disbelief. You have to make people think they're walking on a major league diamond.
Oh, yeah.
Your grass got to be cut right, your dirt's got to be right, because people are. It's a fundraiser, and people want to. I want to entertain people when they come, and so I want it to be as close to. You've got a crowd watching you. You're in the batter's box. You're looking out at Busch Stadium, and I want it to be like they're on a major league field, just to a smaller scale.
Well, when people sit up on the hillside, it's almost like a stadium feel.
Yeah, our land sloped off, so when we graded it out, I didn't realize it at first, but I thought this is kind of cool because the fans can sit above the field and watch the game.
I mean, it truly is like a field of dreams too. You got corn all around it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's beans this year.
Yeah. They got to switch them between year to year, but yeah.
Last year we had the corn.
Yeah, they swap it.
And for the first pitch, we had Dwight Meeks and my oldest son Oliver dressed up as Shoeless Joe Jackson and Moonlight Graham. They walked out of the corn and threw the first pitch out, and they walked back into the corn.
Well, it's harder to walk through out of the beans, but still, it is a field of dreams sitting right out there on South Jefferson Street.
It's
it really
fun.
is.
It's fun.
Well, what is the schedule this year? I know it's a busy weekend when you have this tournament going on.
Yes, it is, Todd. We've got about 20. I think the last count was 23 teams. I had to look back and see. I had a couple teams canceled. I had 25 at first. I think we have 23.
Oh, wow.
And the first year we started out with 8. And, every year it's grown. Last year we raised $34,000. And this year, we're hoping to raise that or more. We would like to. You just never know. Weather and things can play a part in that. But the foundation gave out over $30,000 in scholarships, and we raised $34,000, so it really worked out well. But we got 23 teams coming, and we start on Friday night at 5:30, and we'll go through all day Saturday, and then Sunday we had to start a little early because we have so many teams. So we're starting at 10 on Sunday morning, and we're going to have a worship service at 11:30. We're going to have a 30-minute worship service. Brandon Sigler is going to speak. Brandon Sigler is going to speak. And, I'm really excited about that. I mean, I think that's a big part of what we do. And Shannon and Dennis are just unbelievably faithful people, and it's shown in how they reacted to the tragedy when their son passed away. And so, we're excited about it. We've got the little guys are going to be playing. Well, little guys, I mean, the 12-year-olds, we have 9-year-old teams playing. Oh, wow. We've got teams that are 40, 50, 60-year-old guys playing. I mean, Jerry Perkins played last year.
Yeah.
And, I mean, so, we've got all ages that are playing. We've got women's teams. We've got a little girls softball team, the Louisville Sluggers. Teams coming from Paducah. And so it's a really neat, unique event in that we can bring about 5 or 6 counties together, and all for a common cause.
Yeah. I think it's staggering the amount of money you've been able to raise for that. And do you have any idea how many scholarships that's gone to over the years?
Todd, I don't know, but I know Dennis would be able to answer that question better, but we put all the scholarship winners in our program, and it fills up a whole page. I mean, and it's small pictures. I mean, it's been a lot of kids, and the highest amount they give are $1,000 scholarships.
Yeah.
And next year, I think we're going to try to take this to another level, believe it or not. We're talking about doing a fundraising approach, and I got it from the guy in Vermont that runs his tournaments. We call it the 2020 Club. My wife's going to sponsor it because she's an optometrist, 2020 vision.
Oh, that makes great, yeah.
And what that's going to be is anybody that gets 20 donations of $20, they're in the 2020 Club.
Oh, wow.
And they'll get a big pair of knee-high red socks to wear during the tournament that have 2020 Club on them.
Oh, wow.
That's a great idea.
Talk to Beth about those socks.
That's a great idea.
And that gives them some pride. They do green socks in Vermont because but they really want, and that becomes a source of pride to be in the 2020 Club. I mean, you don't have to be 20 donations. You can get one donation of $400.
Yeah.
But when you start putting that in the perspective of 25 teams with 10 players on a team, if every person is in the 2020 club, that's $100,000 you've raised in 3 days.
Right.
And so I think the potential is there for us to raise more than what we have done. And we're going to work on the 2020 club next year, get a really early start on it, and get those things started and get that going. I'm excited about that. We may have to end up building the second field at some point. Who knows? I mean,
Well, I wondered if you were going to get to that at
Yeah,
some point.
I mean, if it keeps growing.
well, when we had 25 teams, I had to turn away 4 teams. And then the teams canceled so late, it was too late to get those guys back in. But I know the potential is there to have up to 28 to 32 teams if we want to do that. And so,
Do you have room to expand if you had to?
well, right now we're at full capacity. I mean, we
Right.
pretty much start at 9 a.m. on Saturday and at 9 p.m. on
Right.
Saturday and go mostly through Sunday.
Wow.
But Friday night, we'll have 5 games Friday night.
Wow.
And there's a home run derby and those kind of things that go on too.
Yeah, we have a home run derby, and that's a fun little thing. You pay $5, you get 5 swings or as many home runs you can hit. And so we do a round on Friday night, and then we do another round on Saturday night. And that's been a fun thing because people who aren't playing can
Just get out there and go.
can go out and take a few cuts in the home run derby.
Muscle it up.
That's right.
Well, do you have any plans in the future? I mean, you talk about Little Bush Stadium. Have you thought about mixing it up at some point and maybe
Little Sun Trust? No.
yeah.
Who plays there?
Braves.
I'm kidding. I
He
know.
winked at me. I know. I had to say it. He gave me
Sorry.
a wink.
Sorry, Tom.
And if you had 2 fields, you could really work on that.
Well, I think that if I were to build a second field, I think it's easy. Fenway Park is it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me,
Yeah.
because it's a right-hand, any right-hander to hit it over a 12-foot high wall, that's just a cool thing, you know. And Wrigley Field would be cool, but it would be much like Busch Stadium, you know. But Fenway's a whole different animal, and so I think I might think about building Fenway if I were going to build a second one.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that I mean, I love Fenway Park. I mean, I really do. I mean, I love the old classic ball fields, whether it's Wrigley, whether it's Fenway, and I mean, I just love baseball. So really, I even like, I don't want to say I like the Cubs, but I can tolerate the Cubs. How about that?
Right.
So
And in wiffle ball, there's no better way to honor a 12-year-old young man than a wiffle ball tournament.
Yeah.
Because
no doubt about it.
We all played it. We all
Yeah.
did it.
Yes.
And these guys can compete as well as anybody can.
Oh yeah.
They came in. Luke's team came in second place last year and lost in the championship game 1-0.
Oh wow.
Let's bring Luke in here for a second. Luke, tell us a little bit about what it's like to play at Little Busch Stadium and to get on that wiffle ball field.
It's pretty cool, and once you step on it, you're gonna have a lot of fun.
Shoot, yeah, and that's for kids of all ages, whether they're your age or they're kids my age or your dad's age, and even older. That's what's so cool about Little Busch Stadium because most of us didn't get a chance to play, or probably won't ever have a chance to play in a big league park. But when you're out there, you can just get a little taste of it at Little Busch Stadium, and you're having fun for a great cause. So that's awesome. So you guys going to take it again this year or get real close?
I think we have a pretty good chance.
Good deal. Best of luck to you. What position you playing?
Pitcher mostly.
You're in there for your stick too, though, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And I'm assuming Luke is part of the grounds crew too.
Well, I try to keep the grounds crew very, very close to the vest, Todd. I mean, it's very important. Joey East is he's my second in charge of the grounds crew. Luke can rake some dirt, but I keep him. The mower doesn't get on that field.
I was going to say, I know you guys put a ton of work into that because, I mean, it just looks
It looks
immaculate.
fantastic.
I mean,
Yeah, it does.
It is. People talk about cross training. Well, you come out here for a month and get that field ready, and you'll lose about 10 pounds. I'm pretty much, and my team's not even playing this year in it. I mean, because a lot of the guys on my team, Bobby East, Donald McGregor, Joey East, and they all work the event. And so we're just exhausted by the time we come up to play. And so we just decided this year, to take the year off. And I'm sure our competitive juices will start flowing and we'll be wishing we were playing. But, after, we won it in 2016, so our motivation's gone now, Ty. I mean, there's nothing else to play for,
No, it's such a...
And Luke and them, they're motivated. They
yeah.
came in second, so Dennis Hodge's team got beat by these guys last year.
Wow.
And
Now,
Dennis
who won it last year?
The Fredonia boys.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. So, yeah, that's a pretty tough team.
Well, that was their first win in the Jake Hodge tournament.
Well,
they had never won a Jake Hodge tournament, so they got their name on the trophy. We have a big trophy with every year's champion on it, and Have you named the trophy, like the claret jug? I really haven't. I need some more creative guys to help me with that.
We'll have to think about that.
yeah.
But
Well, it's just, again, the field is incredible, and you talk about playing late into the night, and I've been out there before, and you guys have lights out there that you bring in, and you just keep on going.
This community is wonderful. I mean, David Sullinger brings the light tower from the fire department. Ben Van Hooser and Dwight bring a light tower from the plant board. David Sullinger brought me hundreds of cones to mark off parking for the event. Adam French helping with the grass. Just there's so many people that contribute to making it what it is. And Joe McEnany just donates all the buns, the ketchup, the mustard, and Crittenden County is amazing. Nathan Boone and those guys donate all the food. I mean, we sold $4,000 in concessions, and we had zero into concessions.
Wow.
And Tate Winters brings a pallet of water. And if you've ever seen how big a pallet of water is, it takes up this whole office almost.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. And you guys
just
go through it, too.
Well, we go through a lot of it.
But it looks like the weather's going to be great.
It's going to be good, maybe a little warm, but, hey, it's going to be fine. We got fans strategically placed around the facility, and, and we're ready. So, but everybody contributes, everybody helps, and it's nice to bring the communities together. Dennis and I were talking. I think that the Crittenden-Caldwell rivalry might not be as bitter as it was 10 years ago. I saw what they did for David Barnes last year at the football game, and, I don't know if this has any part of it, but it might play a little role in it.
Sure.
And I hope it does,
Sure.
Well,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you guys have gotten so much publicity, though. I mean, it's not just a local thing anymore. I mean,
right.
there are other places that are coming in, to take a look at it and help publicize the event and the field.
Yeah, and guys like you all here at WPKY are a big part of that. Kentucky Educational Television was at the field yesterday doing interviews with Dennis and I, and a couple other folks were interviewed, and they were there for 4 hours taking shots of the field. And they do a show called Kentucky Living. It's a magazine-style show, and they're going to feature the tournament and Little Bush Stadium on. And I'll let you know when that is, and you can let her. I'm not sure when it's going to air, but they'll be back on Saturday taking some in-game shots and things like that. So. We've had Paducah, the News Channel 6 down there before. And if we start really building the second field and doing the 2020 Club, we'll really get out there. Social media is so powerful today. You can put a picture out and thousands of people see it. I'm not on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, but my wife is on those, and so she puts things out every now and then.
I mean, don't look, and this is going to be a big regional event.
I would love for that,
and I think you're on your way. I really do.
I think every year we've grown, and I think we could grow exponentially over the next 2 or 3 years. And I would like to maybe host a couple other events for people that are interested. But it's always hard because I'll say, okay, you get the teams, and I'll have the field ready, and then you don't hear much, So,
what about somebody that's out there listening right now, Ken, that's saying, I don't have a team this year, but how can I help? I know I might come out there for a while, but what else can they do to help the Jake Hodge Foundation?
Just bring a lawn chair, come hang out, buy a pork chop sandwich, and come write a check to support the Jake Hodge Foundation. If you want to write a check, make them payable to Jake Hodge Foundation. It's a tax deductible. It's a 503c corporation, and you can donate in the name of a team because we have a running total of how much money the teams have donated.
Team donates, yeah.
We'll keep tabs of that, and that's kind of a little bit of a competition between the teams in some ways.
It's pretty cool. I've been to several local graduations, and it's neat to see Dennis show up. You know, he's got a smile on his face. He presents those kids with these scholarships and lots of scholarships, you know, in the name of, you know, and he takes such pride in that. You know, it's got his son's name on it, and it's a special thing to see those scholarships get awarded, and many of them across our area. So it's just an awesome deal.
Well, you know, Todd, Dennis's goal, and he's always looking forward. And one of us made the comment the other day, it's not about what happened in 2008 when his son passed away, but it's about what's happening now. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he tries to pick kids that are going to pay it forward, that are, you know, the Brandon Siglers of the world, the Blake Hodges of the world, kids who are going to come out there and now they're going to be part of this event down the road. You know, I also think that in Crittenden County, it's such a close community, and Shannon and Dennis have been there. They're staples in that community. They've been there for years, and people, they've impacted so many people's lives as coaches that people want to help them and support their cause. Yeah. And you know, my wife played college basketball with Shannon, and she's been a really close friend to hers from day one.
Yeah.
So.
Just an incredible legacy for Jake Hodge, and, you know, a fantastic idea. And the wiffle ball tournament, I think you said, has raised over $100,000 through the years.
In 5 years, we've raised $100,000 for the foundation.
I mean, that's incredible.
It is, and soaring to even greater heights potentially. So that's awesome.
Hopefully
hopefully with the potential implementation of the 2020 club, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's great. Well, it's this weekend, so if you're out there listening, you know, they'll start pitching it around 5 o'clock. Isn't that right? Come out and get you a sandwich, hang out all day Saturday and a lot of the day Sunday, and just it's a good time. South Jefferson Street in Princeton, and you can't miss it. Just head on out south of town. Start looking at your left side as you get out there just a little ways, and you'll see the cars and everything marked up, and you'll see a beautiful wiffle ball stadium over there. So,
thank you.
Give it to them, Luke. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. All right. All right, Todd, let's take a break here on the Sideline Report. We'll be back in just a moment. You listen to the Sideline Report at 9:25 on your hometown radio station, WPKY The Tiger. Get spruced up with quality mulch from Bashir Sawmill on Dawson Road in Princeton. We all know buying mulch by the truckload saves money, and it's only $25 per load for dark natural mulch at Bashir Sawmill on the Dawson Road, 1/2 mile past City County Park. Bashir Sawmill also buys standing timber and timberland. Give them a call today, 270-365-2330. That's Bashir Sawmill, family owned and operated in Princeton for over 50 years. ABC Finance is proud to give back to the community. That's why they are collecting school supplies during the month of July. When you visit, why not drop off a few school supplies? ABC Finance is working with local agencies to distribute collected school supplies to area schools. Come on out to ABC Finance and let Jody and Virginia help you with your back-to-school needs. From school clothes to cars or maybe even that late summer vacation, ABC Finance has loan terms and payments that will fit any budget. At ABC Finance on US 62 at Princeton Plaza. Phone 270-365-7444. U-Ride in Princeton is proud to sponsor the Sideline Report each Thursday here in your hometown radio station WPKY The Tiger. Go on out to U-Ride on Marion Road. Ask for Dave's Deal of the Week. It's usually the spotlight vehicle of the week, and it's waiting for you at U-Ride. Dave Harden is the sales manager at U-Ride. Go on out and ask to test drive Dave's Deal of the Week. It's out at U-Ride on Marion Road in Princeton. Give them a call, 270-365-3018, U-Ride of Princeton. Back on the Sideline Report at 9:27, and boy, oh boy, we're going to shift gears from wiffle ball to wherever you want to go.
Well, I sure do love Little Bush Stadium.
I do too, man.
Just, you go out there, and it's almost like when you go to the ballpark, and they've just lined the field, and it all looks nice, and they've mowed it. And it almost looks too good to step on. You know, it's like I don't want to step on this field.
It almost does. You know, I go back. I harken back. I hear the Field of Dreams music. I hear the pianos. Ding, ding,
yeah.
Ding, you know, kind of in the distance. You know, and I look out there. It's just awesome. So.
And the crowds they get for that are incredible too. I mean, it's just.
I mean, they're cheering them on. I mean, it's just like being at a real game. And man, who doesn't love wiffle ball, man? Yeah. I mean, golly, I love it.
But you know, It's August. As we transition on the show a little bit, it is football month.
It is.
You know, if you like football, it's your time of year. As a matter of fact, you know, if you're not excited this time of year, I don't know if you're really a sports fan. I mean,
I agree.
How can you not be fired up for all the sports coming up? You know, first of all, we have a soccer scrimmage at home tonight. The girls are playing Marshall County.
It was. I didn't want to say earlier. I thought there was a scrimmage tonight when Mr. Huggins was in here, but I couldn't remember exactly.
You know, I think the schedules got a little mixed up, and at one time there was a boys' home scrimmage, but I think they worked that out, and now it's a girls' scrimmage against Marshall County tonight. And also we're taking girls' soccer pictures later today for our previews coming up. So
have you taken any as of yet? I know you've done football.
We've done football, and we've done volleyball.
And, you have done volleyball.
So we're doing girls' soccer today, boys' soccer tomorrow.
Okay.
So,
man, busy day.
Yeah, and our football previews are coming up. Our volleyball previews are coming up. Volleyball and the times later will be next Wednesday, August the 8th.
Wow.
Soccer is August 11th, which is next Saturday. And then football is August 15th. The first game is August 17th. We're just over a week away from the first football scrimmage, which is next Friday, August 10th. I mean, it's right here.
Yeah, it is. It's here.
You know, if you look ahead at football, later in the month, college football starts. Murray State has a home game August 30th. That's a Thursday against SIU. Josh Young is a wide receiver on Murray State's team and may get some playing time.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've got a Tiger down there. And then if you look ahead a little bit, September 15th, Murray State plays at the University of Kentucky. You know, if Josh were to get into that game, I think he'd be the first Tiger to play up in Lexington since Stuart Childress back in the day when the Racers went up there to play. So, you know, that's pretty exciting, too, to get to go up there and play on, you know, Kroger Field.
Yeah,
that's what we call it, right? Kroger Field.
Well, I think that's what we're supposed to call it. And didn't you call it the bag one day, like the grocery bag?
The grocery bag.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. If around here we might just call it the Ruler Field, since they're affiliated. But
and Purdue also opens the season. They open on a Thursday night. It's August 30th, so you know that's this month. They host Northwestern on ESPN that night, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Boilermakers' starting quarterback that night is one Elijah Sindelar.
Yeah.
Although I think both quarterbacks might play.
I was going to ask you who you think would start. You know, it's a good problem to have, but traditionally it can be a little confusing. But you know, it's pretty interesting what's going on up there. You know, it's happened before, but it'd be interesting to see how all that works out.
And I believe Elijah is one of the team captains.
I think
he
so.
and David Blau both are among those team captains.
I think so. Yeah,
that's pretty strong.
We took them both to the media.
Yeah,
to the media game, and so you know. I know that they're both just right there together, but they have different talents of what they can do on the football field.
Right.
So
it's a shame they both can't play, but I mean it's tough to get two quarterbacks out there.
That would be revolutionary.
Yeah, that would be a different look altogether.
No doubt.
But while we're talking football, and we didn't mention this earlier, but our top 5 today is very much football related. It's our top 5 Caldwell County football games we are most looking forward to this season.
That's right. And, of course, there's 10 games on the slate.
Yeah.
So, it'd be interesting to see how many replications we have between your list and my list. But I think I'm first.
Okay.
And my number 5 is the Hopkinsville game.
Okay.
And I know Hopkinsville is supposed to be really, really much improved team this year.
They were pretty good last year.
They were.
When we beat them. They hadn't quite found their footing yet.
Right.
But, they went to Logan County in the playoffs, and Logan County was undefeated.
Right.
And Hopkinsville, I think, run and clocked them.
Yeah. So that's going to be – that's August 31st, I think. Is that right? Yeah.
It's the first home game.
Yeah.
So that's good reason to have it at number 5.
Yeah. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see how, we will have a few games under our belt by that time. But we'll see how we do there.
Okay, my number 5 is also Hopkinsville.
All right.
I wonder if we're going to do this all the way up.
I doubt it, because I've already shuffled after looking at the schedule, I've already shuffled my list, my original list.
This gets back into one of my old things when we talk about how good Hopkinsville is going to be, and I think they are going to be good, but, I always go back to the fact that we need to expect Caldwell County to be good.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
When we talk about these other teams being good, we are also pretty good.
I agree
so
with
it's
you.
okay. I think that Hopkinsville game is evenly matched.
I do too.
And that's one of the reasons I'm so looking forward to it, is that I think it will be a great game, and it's the first home game.
Yeah, and that's kind of like me. But yeah, I mean, so far so good. I got number 4 at Trigg County. I love the rivalry. I just think, they want to beat us every year awfully bad. Whether it's, I mean, I've never been scared in a press box. Last year at Trigg County, it got a little dicey up there with the fans. I saw fists and hands kind of coming together. So that's just the kind of game it is. I mean, Trigg County is a wonderful community. I've worked over there. There's wonderful. I got great friends over there, wonderful people, but they always want to beat Caldwell County, and they have. But it's been a while. I mean, I think the last time was here during the Lightning game, maybe. Yeah. And that was, probably if we had more time there, it probably wasn't going to work out for them.
Well, and we had the lead that
exactly.
entire night.
But
that
anyway,
game is still sort of a sore spot for Caldwell County fans.
It is, and we get Trigg County at home on October 5th, so at least we got them at home this year.
And that, I've mentioned before, Caldwell County and Trigg County quietly one of the best rivalries in Western Kentucky, not just in football, but you want to talk basketball or soccer or baseball. I mean, that's just it's a heated rivalry.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. So I'm excited, and it's just fun for our two counties to get together and play. So
okay.
I like it.
I'm going to throw you a bit of a curve at number 4.
Okay.
My number 4 is Henderson County.
Okay, that's not bad.
Henderson County, one of the biggest schools in the state, Class 6A
There
school. Caldwell County has played them the last 3 years. Caldwell County has beaten them the last 3 years. So it will be interesting to see if the Tigers can finish off that run, because I think Henderson County is going to leave the schedule after this year, so that's going to kind of end that series. But the Tigers, again, 3-0 against Henderson County. Those have been some great games, too, especially last year up there. And also that night, the 98 state championship team will be honored at Tiger Stadium. So that's going to be a big night. So I've got Henderson County at number 4.
Funny you say that. I got it at number 3. But mainly, again, about everything you said. Big 6A school. They're coming to our place. We've had some success getting. This is the last year that we might see them for a while. And again, it's the night that we honor our 1998 state championship team. So I've got them at number 3, Henderson County game.
All right, my number 3 is Mayfield. And I know a lot of people kind of bristle when you say Mayfield, but to me it's always an exciting game. It's a great measuring stick going right into the playoffs. And, of course, they're going to be back in our district next season, not this season, but starting next season. And, to me that's the program around here that you kind of shoot for. I don't see the big deal in losing to them. I think it's a great chance to get better and a chance to, again, to see where you stand, and that's also become a bit of a heated rivalry too. I mean, not many teams have had much success against Mayfield, and the Tigers have had some success through the years. So I mean, that's kind of something to hang your hat on too.
I think you're just behind, because Mayfield is my number 2. and again, everything I just ditto everything you said there. They're kind of the gold standard for our area, and again, when we go back to Class 2A, they're right there in this district game, and probably not the last game of the season. When you're playing them, you're playing quality. And it's always a fun game because there's always a chance you're going to beat them. And I think
to me, there's nothing but opportunity in that game.
Nothing but opportunity. And I remember 2 years ago we went down there, and, man, we played a great first half and had them. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what they do when they go back there in the halftime in the locker room. But they came out, and after that, it was like we just didn't show up. Yeah. But it's high school kids and great, but you got to give credit to them too. They made adjustments, and
they're really good.
So Mayfield, number 2.
My number 2 is Christian County. They always say the most important game on the schedule is the next one. So, that's our season opener. Yeah, it's over at the Stadium of Champions. It's going to be a big deal. Christian County's won the last 2 years running, I think, in that series, and I actually think this year the Tigers might be favored in that game. I know Christian County lost a lot from last year, and I noticed on the KHSAA schedule this week that game is now set for an 8 o'clock kickoff. It's part of the Jerry Claiborne Bowl over there. Hopkinsville is going to play South Warren at 5:30 that day. Like I said, it's the first game of the season, August 17th. The Caldwell Christian game is listed at 8 o'clock. I'm guessing, especially if it's warm and they have to push anything back, that 8 o'clock is optimistic. It's probably going to be 8:30 or maybe even later. So we're looking at a late night in Hopkinsville for that season opener. But still, I think that's going to be a great game. And again, talk about, great measuring sticks. I think that's going to be a great one for the Tigers to open the season and see exactly where they stand, because even though most people are saying Christian County might be down just a little bit this year from where they've been.
Still a pretty good football team.
That's still a Class 5A school,
right.
And they've still got a lot of athletes, and they're still well coached.
Yeah.
And, they're going to come out and play you a good game.
Yeah, and then in that setting, the Stadium's Champions is a fun place to play. It's a great facility, and you just kind of got a big time feel when you're in that stadium.
Yeah.
And so, and under the lights, that'll be a fun game. No doubt.
Some great teams have played over there. Tim Couch played over there.
He certainly did. So, looking forward to that opener. And my number one is Paducah Tillman.
Oh, wow.
And
a surprise.
Well, we talked about them. I saw their first game against McCracken County last year. Man, they hit hard. They're physical. Coach Duncan, that was his first year there.
Yeah.
And when you send out, I hope he's feeling better.
Yeah.
He had to step down due to health issues. And, I think they're in search of a coach. I haven't seen they've been named yet. Do you have any news on that today?
The interim coach is Jonathan Smith. He's been an assistant coach down there for over 10 years,
okay,
and he's going to be the interim until the end of the year, and I don't know if he will end up getting the job or if they'll look for somebody else.
Might be like a tryout.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough situation to step into, because Coach Duncan had actually been leading the fall practices and getting the team ready, and the health thing kind of came up quickly, and he stepped down quickly, and they had to kind of scramble to keep things going.
I tell you, Coach Duncan had that team rocking and rolling, especially as it steamrolled toward the end of the season. Played that Elizabethtown team pretty tough.
Yeah,
just had a trouble turning over the ball.
Yeah, that was
their Achilles heel last year.
Because they were tough. They had some good athletes. Now, they were really one-dimensional. I think I saw somewhere where they completed 14 passes.
They did not. They did
last season. The whole season.
Exactly.
14 passes.
Yeah, and they did not have anybody that could throw the ball. It was all smash and bash and all that stuff. But it'd be interesting to see how they rally together, and that's why you saw some makings of the Paducah Tillman of old, those old days when they were winning state championships, and those fans are unbelievable there. And of course, that's a tough place to go play.
Oh yeah.
And it gets pretty rowdy. If I had on our colors and I was on the Paducah Tillman side, and they pretty much asked me to leave. They did, and I was kind of helping the radio station then a little bit.
Wow.
So. No, I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
What are you doing with that on over here? I got that. But eventually, made friends with them. But it's just they're serious about their football over there, and it's just going to be a fun game and a tremendous environment to go down there and play the Tornadoes in Paducah.
Well, and it will be interesting to see what type of approach they take with a new head coach in place, because Coach Duncan was really an old school kind of guy.
Exactly.
I mean, they would play physical football. The most physical game I saw all last year was that Tillman game out here, and kudos to our guys too, because
they got banged up.
I mean, but they were giving it as well as
they
were getting it.
Yeah,
so,
they did,
and it's a good thing, because that's the only way they win that game.
That's the only way you win it.
Was to try to be as physical.
And yes, sometimes you have to match it.
And the Tigers ended up winning that game 24-21 on a late field goal, and there was a hook and ladder play that set that up in the closing seconds.
That's right.
Quite an exciting game at Tiger
Stadium.
Stadium.
It really was, and boy, I hope we get to see some more games like that this year. I mean, I know coaches, we just want to blow them out. No, I mean, it's good to see fundamental football.
Well, and that's one of those games, and, I've heard a lot of former players and former kids say that when they go into some of these games, they look on the other sideline and they look and they think, wow, that team's got more athletes than we do, or they're quicker than us. But because our team is usually pretty well coached, they'll tell you, we just ran our system better than they ran their system.
Right.
And 2 years down there, Caldwell ran up a pretty big win at Paducah Tillman. That was a bit of a surprise. And again, those kids were saying, they've got as many athletes as we do, but we run our stuff better than they do. And that's why, we won the game the way we did.
No, that's exactly right. And it comes down to that in sports, there might be better athletes on the field. than your team. But if you can execute and stick to your game plan, if it's been well planned out, and execute the plays, the team that executes the plays and controls the ball and holds on, they're going to, more than likely they're going to win.
Yeah.
So I don't care how great the athletes are. If things break down in the process, it's not going to be a good result.
Well, I go back to a lot of games last year, and I know we've talked about this before. That Henderson County game, I really liked Henderson County's athletes. Again, it's a great big school, so they should have some they can put out there. And I really thought that game was Henderson's for the taking.
Yeah.
But, Caldwell hit a couple of big plays. They did a couple of things that maybe Henderson wasn't expecting. And the next thing you know, the Tigers are walking out of there with a 42-28 win. And right before halftime, it was 14-0. And you were beginning to wonder if the Tigers were going to score.
Oh, yeah.
And they put 42 points up.
Yeah, and and last year, it's so funny to look back on last year's season. There were a lot of games like that.
Hopkinsville.
Yeah.
We're down over at Hopkinsville, and then you're wondering, is the offense ever going to click? And then boom, boom, a couple of plays, and you've got the lead and you've won the game.
Yeah, and I'm anticipating for this season, our offensive squad, we got a lot of those guys coming back. They have a year under their belt together, most of them, and I think you're going to see a fine polished machine, hopefully, with our offense. And I think from what I'm hearing, which is limited, but we've got guys out there that have stepped up and filled some of the holes that we lost on defense as well. And that might, these early season games are tough. I mean, all these games we play a tough schedule, but when you're just able to practice, you're not in a real game situation. One scrimmage is hardly enough,
right?
But we'll see. It's all about how you respond and what you can get done out there when it times to get out on the field. So,
well, I think it's going to be a really fun season.
Oh yeah,
I would caution everyone though that the team could be even better than last year's team, but not have as good a record because the schedule is tough.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just works out that way, that maybe the record's not as good this year, or it could be even better.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the year the team gets the regional championship game and beats
just blows right through it,
or whoever else is there. I mean, but by the way, my number one was also Paducah Tillman. Kind of dragged that out.
Yeah, sorry. And what are your reasons?
Well, number one, I think that's going to be for the district championship.
Yeah, exactly.
Coaches will tell you not to look ahead or not to look past the next game, but we can do so because we're the media, so that's kind of what we do. But just Paducah Tillman series has been great. The Tigers have had a lot of success. Again, the Tillman name is kind of a storied name in Western Kentucky. I mean, for years
it's up there with Mayfield. Probably.
Yeah, I was going to say for years the western end of the state football was Tillman and Mayfield.
Yeah.
I mean that was, as you mentioned earlier, that was the gold standard in high school football, and just a big game. I think it's going to be close. It's for the district championship, and this year that's a bunch of home games in the playoffs. So not to look ahead of ourselves too far, but, that's where I've got the Tillman game at number one on my list.
Yeah. Didn't mention that, but, yeah, you're right. That's what it boils down to more than likely, so – but I think they're good lists. We got pretty close, actually. Well,
I think I had Henderson and you had Trigg. I think everybody else was on there.
I think that's right.
So
I had Trigg at 4 and Henderson at 3.
Oh, you had Henderson on yours.
Yeah, remember? Yeah.
Oh, well, I got talking about Paducah Tillman and I lost it.
Yeah, I did.
Well, which team did we have different? I didn't have Trigg on my list, so.
Yeah, I had Trigg.
You didn't have Christian County.
I didn't have Christian County. That's
there
right.
we go.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was I knew we had one off.
We had one. Yeah, we had one off, and a little bit staggered the numbers. But great list. If you're out there listening and want to chime in, you're more than welcome to give us your comments. Your phone's popping everywhere. 963-9038 is the text line, and we've got texts and everything else popping. But we've got a few more minutes as well, Todd, and of course we'll go wherever you want to take it.
Well, I just want to remind everyone that the scrimmage this year is at home for Caldwell County. That'll be Butler County next Friday. That's August 10th. And, we've scrimmaged Butler County for several years now, and it was actually our turn to go up the Parkway, Interstate, whatever we're calling it these days, to Butler County. But they had some trouble with their field last year. I think it was a skunk infestation or something like that.
That's right.
and so they had to redo some things. That's actually factual.
It's the truth. You almost want to laugh. You almost want to, put CNN on it or something. Kind of funny,
but they actually had to redo some things. So Butler County's actually playing 2 scrimmages. I think Butler County has a scrimmage this week, and then they're coming here next week. So Butler County will actually have a scrimmage under its belt before it comes to Tiger Stadium next week.
What is their mascot?
The Bears.
Bears, yeah. Well, they ought to just change that.
Yeah.
They'd have white and black uniforms and just be the Skunks.
Yeah. That's tough, though. They actually had to move games last year. I think they lost 2 or 3 home games last season because of that. They even had to go someplace else to have their homecoming.
Yeah. Did you win? Yeah, we skunked them.
Yeah.
But
that was tie.
I know. I'm sorry. But yeah, so we get a scrimmage here. We don't have to travel. So
I love that.
Yeah, because that 8 o'clock kickoff at Christian County.
The schedule this season is a little weird. I mean, it's the opposite of last year's, but we play those first 2 games on the road, and then we have 3 straight home games. So that's going to be a great stretch to go see the Tigers. You got the Hopkinsville game. The first home game, August 31st. The next week, Crittenden County is here. That will be Hall of Fame night.
Yes.
New
class going in. Yes, I figured you'd mention maybe those folks today.
Yeah, well, it's a new class, and I actually had that wrong in the paper, the date. I got the dates mixed up. So it's actually the Hall of Fame game is September 7th. Against Crittenden County. It's the 1998 state championship
on the
team
14th.
That will be honored on the 14th.
Yes.
So, but that's a good home stretch, and then later on, those 2 games, the last 2 home games will be Union County and Trigg County. Those are big district games.
And finish up on the road.
And then go to Fort Campbell and go to Mayfield. So
yeah.
And if it's like last season, it will absolutely fly past because, we looked up last year, and we were 9 games into the season, and it felt like the year had just started.
Yeah, it really did. And it's unbelievable, but a lot of really good expectations for our Tigers. I think I'm hearing little quips out of practice. Things are going really well, and little snippets, and I think everybody's coming together, and I'm looking forward to it.
And I want to mention that Emma Talley played her first round at the Women's British Open this morning. I think she is at even par after 1 round.
So she made a birdie.
I think she bogeyed number 2 and then birdied 16, and everything else was a par. The last time I looked at the leaderboard, I think she was tied for around 36th or 38th, somewhere around there. But, of course, a lot of golf still to be played over in England. They're 6 hours ahead of us.
42nd now. Okay. The leader's at -4, so...
and a lot of TV coverage this week for that event. Golf Channel, I think, is on right now. And tomorrow, Emma tees off, I want to say at 9:30 in the morning, our time, 3:30 in the afternoon over there. So I think that's like right in the middle of Golf Channel coverage. And then this weekend, if Emma makes the cut, and, she looks pretty good after that even par first round to make the cut. Golf Channel has coverage in the mornings. NBC actually has some coverage in the late morning, early afternoon window. So there's a lot of TV coverage for the Women's British Open.
I like this time of the year because you get the, you get the guys British Open, you get the men's, and you get the seniors, and then you go right to the women's. And I love those golf courses over there. I love just the tradition of it all. It's fun to watch, and so it's kind of neat to see all those back to back. And let's see, they're playing at Royal Lytham. Is that how you say it?
I think it's Royal Lytham.
Lytham.
Not sure.
Yeah, maybe a little.
The
Lytham.
English have some.
I don't know.
Interesting pronunciations.
And it's St. Anne's Golf Club, and I don't know. Is that in Scotland? Or is it in England?
No, it's in Lancashire.
Lancashire.
So is that how you say that?
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, that's pretty awesome. And I guess it is. I haven't seen it. Is it a links type course?
I think so. Yeah.
So most all of them over there are. So, yeah. So it's
a little different game over there. There's a lot more hit and run than here, where you're just trying to throw darts at greens.
Exactly, and the wind starts blowing, and it starts raining, and then it's just it's craziness. I mean, the golf course can change in an instant, just about over there. So we wish Emma luck, and we'll try to keep you posted on Facebook and stuff throughout the weekend. Looks like hopefully she'll make it. She's on her way to making a cut.
Yeah, I did not make her tee time this morning at 3:30 our time, but. That one's kind of tough to follow. But again, I think her second round tee time is 3:30 p.m. over there, which is 9:30 in the morning here. So again, I'm thinking if she can, stay, even or better, that maybe she'll get some TV time tomorrow morning on Golf Channel.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, even though she's 42nd, the leaders are at -4. You've still got ladies still on the course, and 12, 13, and 14. But she's well, a couple of birdies right there within, distance to be there. So, lots of golf still to be played.
So hopefully she makes the cut. Last week she missed the cut over at the Ladies Scottish Open. So, and a pretty good purse for this week's event. It's one of the majors. So,
yes.
Some money to be made in that event if you can keep creeping up the leaderboard.
Yes. So we wish her luck as well.
Some basketball news. I mean, like I said, it's a big time of the sports year, and the Kentucky Wildcats are actually in action next week, going to the Bahamas.
Going to the Bahamas.
I mean, can you believe some people are actually going to the Bahamas this time of year? What's up with that?
Yeah, what's going on? You seem like you'd wait till it's cold,
But anyway, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday and Sunday, the Cats have 4 games in the Bahamas. Those games will all be televised live on the SEC network. So if you're a Kentucky basketball fan, and they look absolutely loaded for this year.
Oh, yeah, they do.
A bit of a disappointment last year for Cats fans. I think Coach Calipari was even a little disappointed in the way the season kind of went together. So he went out and loaded up. And
who was the guy that just decommitted?
The Jeffries
kid, yeah.
I think he's probably headed to Memphis.
That's what it looks like.
But Kentucky,
Penny Hardaway wins.
Yeah. Kentucky's not for everybody, though.
Oh, no. I mean, if like you said, you load it and you're a player and you look at that and you're like, man, am I ever going to get a chance to play?
You could very easily be a great player and be the 9th guy on the team sitting on the bench watching a lot of those games. I was going to say the only issue I see with this year's Kentucky team, 1, there's only 1 basketball, and 2, there's only 200 minutes of action each game for people to play.
Yeah.
So, that's the only limitations on this year's team, is that there's a whole lot of guys, and, there's only so many minutes. And there's only 1 basketball. But Calipari is usually pretty good at figuring out who needs to play. We've mentioned before that they can have all these players, and I really think he prefers to play 7 or 8, although he did mention, the word platoon. So
the other day in his conference,
so,
I was in and out of that, but
so we could see something like that. I'm not sure I like the platoon thing. It might have worked okay a couple of years ago when the team just had so many players that he had to try to get guys on the floor, but
I'm with you on that.
I think I'd rather just turn up the heat and just play a lot of guys. Let's press and run people in and out and play guys that way, but hey, Coach Cal knows what he's doing, and he knows how to get guys, and we'll see how Kentucky turns out. But I think when the season opens, you're going to look at Kentucky probably ranked 1 or 2.
Yes.
And then they open the regular season with some team out of North Carolina. I'm not sure how you pronounce this. Duke.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you say that.
They could.
Yeah.
Is it possible they might be the 1 and 2 ranked teams?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
They play November 6th in Indianapolis on television.
What a way to start off. But that's huge. It's television. It's money.
Yeah.
It's just
I think they actually moved up the starting date of the season just so they could play those games and have those marquee matchups right out of the gate.
Man.
But yeah, I mean, you look at it, basketball season's really not that far away, and again, you get a really early preview of the UK basketball team next week. They play Wednesday night and Thursday night. I think the game on Saturday is around a 6 p.m. game, our time. Sunday is probably an afternoon game.
You said all on SEC Network.
Yeah, so all those games on SEC Network. So you get a chance to see the team.
No excuse for you to not kind of get a good idea of what they're going to look like.
Yeah, and it's difficult to kind of wrap your head around the fact that, hey, we have college basketball next week, because we're getting ramped up for football. But, yeah, I mean, right there you go.
And we got football starting.
Yeah.
We got college football, we got high school football, we got pro football. Oh, man.
And one more basketball note that
how many times we say ball during this show, do you think?
Oh, I don't know. We need somebody to count. We need somebody to come in at the end of the show and, tell us, a statistician to tell us what we got wrong during the show.
Oh, that's everything. So
how
we
many
want
times
that.
we misspoke.
Oh, we don't want
and
that.
How many times we said ball.
We want that. How many times? I don't know how many times you say balls. Ball. Ball. You know,
But basketball, one more note, and I missed this. This is about a month old, but I missed it. I'm not sure if anybody
what
else
about
did.
sweaty? But anyway, go ahead. Well, go ahead.
Is that a Saturday Night Live reference you threw in?
It might be. Go ahead.
Lipscomb, and our buddy Eli Pepper
Yes.
will be playing at Louisville in December. That game, I think, is December 12th at the Yum Center. And, man, that's a big game for Lipscomb to pick up on the schedule.
Shoot,
and that actually came out about a month ago, but I missed it somehow. I'm not sure. Nobody mentioned it, but that's a big deal. And Lipscomb's probably going to make some money that game, probably make about $80,000 or $90,000 to go to Louisville. And Lipscomb might be good enough next year to give Louisville, some issues.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And, I mean, Lipscomb, put themselves on the map big time this last NCAA tournament. And, I think we'll see some more great things from Eli and his band of Bisons.
Yeah.
That's a big deal to have that on the schedule. Like I said, you picked up that game, and they love all the talk about the balls. So,
and Eli will be a senior this year, which is difficult
that's
to
hard
imagine.
That's hard to understand. That's hard to comprehend, isn't it?
This game was actually contracted between the two schools before Chris Mack was named head coach at Louisville. So you have to wonder if he's sitting there going, "Wait a minute, who did we pick up?"
Yeah.
And we're paying them how much money to come up here?
Well, I tell you, I hope they go up there and scare them, and if not, and maybe even tell them what else they do.
Nothing but opportunity. That's what I always
That's what
say.
you always talk about
when you're playing a team that's historically better than you, or ranked higher than you historically. I mean, to me, it's a no-lose situation. If you go up there and lose, well, you were playing at Louisville and you lost. A lot of people have done that. But if you go up there and win, now you've got something.
No doubt about it. It is. It's just opportunity, and so that'll be fun.
So that was a couple of basketball notes that a little weird to be sitting here talking basketball at the 1st of August, but
we'll turn around, man, and then
there you are.
We'll be talking about it. So,
and we mentioned it earlier, a girls' home scrimmage today, soccer. Lady Tigers scheduled to play Marshall County, JV at 5:30, varsity at 7 o'clock. The volleyball Lady Tigers are at the Bluegrass State Games this weekend. Starting to look at next week, there's more scrimmages. Actually, starting next Thursday, the Lady Tiger volleyball team opens their regular season at home against Marshall County.
Wow. And listen, if you haven't gone out to check out one of our volleyball games, man, it's fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the funnest things to watch.
It's one of the best-kept secrets in town, how much fun it is to go watch volleyball.
So do yourself a favor this year if you've not been out to see the Lady Tiger volleyball team, even JV, even middle. I don't think I got middle school. Freshman, yes. Check it out because it's nonstop action, nonstop fun, and boy, those girls, they work their tails off.
Well, one of the issues we run into this time of year is that there are so many things going on that it's tough to get to everything.
It is.
I think the soccer teams suffer a little bit, and volleyball suffers, and other things going on suffer because there are so many games going on that fans can't get to all of them.
Right.
There are literally nights where the volleyball team is playing in one place, girls soccer is playing someplace else, and boys soccer is playing someplace else.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of takes your fan base and really spreads it kind of thin for those games.
No doubt about it.
So if you have a chance, to get out and watch some of these teams, especially the home games, their volleyball has some home dates early. Try to make some of those home games, and it's a great way to spend the evening, and it's not real expensive, and the teams
fun.
would definitely appreciate your support.
They would, and we always field a good volleyball team.
Oh yeah,
and Coach Kortner, and takes these girls. They work hard. A lot of these girls play in the off season. There's not much an off season anymore, and work hard all year round. So it'll be a good year, and we look forward to having them come in from time to time this year and give us updates on the season, what's going on.
And just to remind everyone, our Caldwell County volleyball preview is in the paper next Wednesday.
Yep,
we're still working on that, but it looks like another good season. I think if you look at the second region as a whole, Henderson County is probably a clear-cut favorite this year. But when you start looking at the teams behind,
we're right there.
Caldwell County is up there pretty quickly. You know, maybe University Heights.
Right.
I think Webster County has a pretty good team coming back, but I think if you're going to go 1, 2, 3 right now, you'd probably list Henderson, Caldwell, UHA, probably in that order. So, but I believe there is a bit of a gap the Lady Tigers are going to have to try to close, you know, to try to challenge Henderson for that regional championship. And that's the way it's kind of been for a few years running now.
Exactly. And I know last year, the way the season ended with Henderson County, you know, the Lady Tigers, I'm sure, are striving to get back to that championship game and have a really good showing.
Well, and really thought they had a good chance at Henderson last year.
Yeah.
Henderson played pretty well that night
did.
when they met over in the regional tournament. The Lady Tigers just couldn't.
No.
You know, momentum is such a big thing
Exactly.
in volleyball, and Lady Tigers just never could generate. And part of that is because Henderson's really good. You know, sometimes we fail to acknowledge that, you know, whenever anybody loses, they always want to say, well, we did this wrong or this wrong or this wrong. Sometimes the other team just played better or made, you know, had a better night. Or is really good, all those things. So I think sometimes you just have to, you know, you go and do the best you can, and if it doesn't work out for you, you just tip your cap to the other team, and, you know, you did all you could do.
You're mighty right about that. So big stuff coming up, Todd, and I know you're on top of it. You know, lots of things going on. Just stay tuned. Check out those great issues of the Times Leader. Todd will have all the previews and scores and pictures, and you want to check that out.
Well, now that we've gotten to August, you know, we're not going to want for things to talk about because there's all kinds of local sports going on, and again, the big wiffle ball tournament is this weekend out at Little Bush Stadium.
Yes.
Check that out if you get a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of fun, especially go out there on a Saturday when all those teams are out there and the big crowds are out there. It's
a great atmosphere, and you know, for a great cause.
Absolutely.
So check that out. That's out South Jefferson Street, Little Bush Stadium. It's the Jake Hodge Foundation annual wiffle ball tournament, and that'll be starting Friday evening and go all the way through Sunday. So check it out.
And we have successfully filled another hour.
We certainly have at 10:05, Todd. It's been fun. And I certainly appreciate you being here and getting us up to date on everything that's going on. And, of course, folks, we encourage you to support our Caldwell County Tigers, our local sports team, and get out there this fall and check out some of these great athletes here in town.
Yeah, thanks to Ken Parker for coming by and Luke for coming by, and we appreciate that. And, you know, we've had a lot of people who have, you know, been able to fit us into their schedule. A couple of weeks ago, you know, we had Coach Rhett Miller in, the new girls soccer coach. When I asked him to come, he's like, well, I've got practice that day. And I'm like, well, just, you know, get here as quick as you can.
Get here
and he
as soon as you
did.
get done,
And asked the football coaches, and they were supposed to practice that day, I think, until 10. But they had 7-on-7 that night, so they cut their practice a little short. And I was hoping we'd get 1 or 2 coaches, and we ended up with 5 of them coming in. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, we certainly do.
Appreciate everybody that listens to our show and says something to us every week about it. And, you know, just excited to, you know, fall sports are here, and
it's
we're ready
here.
to go.
Yep, so check out those great previews from the Times Leader. And what's the first one coming out again?
Volleyball will be next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Then we've got soccer coming up next Saturday, the 11th. And then football is the 15th. And I saw on Twitter last night that the Paducah Sun is putting out its pigskin preview August 15th as well.
So
you know,
but you got football.
That'll be a big
long.
day for newsstands. You know, locally you have to go get your papers and read up on all your football.
Okay, we said ball now 10,012 times. So that's what somebody's out there counting.
Well, that seems like a low estimate. Is that just one show?
I don't know. We'll just have to get Mr. Sweaty here. All right. Todd, thanks. And join us next week at 9:03 for the Sideline Report. Of course, it's brought to you by U-Ride, also Bashir Sawmill, and ABC Finance, where, don't forget, I'm going to give them a live plug today. They're out at the Princeton Plaza, US 62 West. They are still collecting school supplies. They've teamed up with local agencies to supply supplies. And if you don't want to bring supplies when you visit the fine folks at ABC Finance, give them a monetary donation. They'll make sure that they'll purchase supplies to help Caldwell County school kids this year. Go on out and talk to the friendly folks at ABC Finance, the Princeton Plaza, US 62 West. Jody, Virginia, and Savannah are out there now, and they'll take care of you. Need that school clothes, back-to-school shopping, maybe that hey, you got a little few more days, maybe squeeze in that late vacation. They've got a loan plan out there, terms that'll fit in most any budget. That's ABC Finance, 62 West in Princeton. We appreciate their support as well. So,
Absolutely.
all right, that's going to do it for us to 10:08. Catch you next week at 9:03. It's the Sideline Report Thursday with Todd Griffin, the Times Leader Sports Editor, and check it out. We'll see you next week. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Sideline Report, brought to you by the Times.